Hey, hello everyone, guys. Good evening. Good evening, all of you. How are you all? Welcome to today's session. My name is Afreen, and I am your PPB and IAIFS educator. So, today is Unit 16 Duties and Right of Banker and Customer, right? So, we are going to discuss the overview of the complete chapter, followed by some of the questions which are related to the discussion. So, let's start the session. First of all, if we talk about the duties, so duty of secrecy and duty of confidentiality. So the duty of non-disclosure is actually contractual and legal. Contractual means it is actually the duty of secrecy is actually absolute. It is not absolute, it is qualified. It means that a bank should maintain the secrecy of the customer, should maintain the information and the privacy and the secrecy of the customer. It is actually not absolute. It means it is not necessary that it is valid for each and every condition. It is actually depends upon the necessities and the situation. So in most of the situation, in most of the condition, it is important for a bank to maintain secrecy and confidentiality of the customer. But in some cases, in some of the cases, if the bank has actually disclosed the information of the customer, as actually revealed privacy of the customer, but it is according to these cases, so actually a banker is not held guilty for it. For example, if when disclosure is under compulsion of law, means that disclosing the information of the customer is actually under the compulsion of the law. There is some law which for example, the customer is involved in some money laundering or anything, or there is some suspicious activities in the account of the customer, then the banker should disclose this information to the authorities concerned. Okay, so in this case, the revealing of the secrecy and the privacy is actually justified from the banker's side, and the banker is not guilty for it. Second, when there is a duty to the public to disclose, means if it is with the public, it is with the importance or concern with the public. Third, when interest of the bank requires a disclosure. Lastly, where disclosure is made with the express or implied consent of the customer. So there are, if there is a consent of the customer, if there is a consent of the customer that okay, you can reveal this information to the general public, so it is justified to reveal the information to the public. So it is said that if the banker has to maintain the duty of secrecy and confidentiality of the customer, it is actually contractual and legal, and it is not absolute, it is actually qualified. Means according to the circumstances, a banker should behave like that. Okay, now if we talk about the banker's rights, so there are four banker's right which is discussed here. First of all, there's a banker's right which is known as banker's lien or bank lien. What is bank lien? Banker has the right to retain the possession of the property or the collateral of the debtor until the debt is fully paid. For example, I have received some debt from the bank and I have put my gold as a collateral to the bank. So bank has actually the right to lien. It means that bank should retain possession of that collateral until I will fully repay my debt. This is known as banker's lien. Okay, now right to set off. Right to set off means if a customer has two or more account in the same bank and there is some debit and credit balance in that account, means if there is one account which have the debit balance and two account which have the credit balance, so bank can exercise his right to set off. It means that they can set off the debit balance of one account with the credit balance of another account. This is known as right to set off. Third is known as right of appropriation of the account. It means that if a customer has deposited some money into the bank and the reason of the credit is actually not specified by the customer, that okay, I am depositing this money for this specific purpose. So if the reason and if the purpose of the credit is actually not defined by the customer, so bank can exercise his right of appropriation of account. It means that if there is any loan or any EMI that is pending by the customer side, bank can use this credit balance to appropriate that EMI or debit. Okay, so this is known as right to appropriation. Lastly, bank has the right to charge interest or commission fees. So bank normally provides you loan and overdraft and letter of credit and credit limits, etc. So in these all type of services, bank has the right to charge you interest and commissions which are prescribed by RBI, Reserve Bank of India, or you can say under the guidelines of the Reserve Bank of India. Okay, so these are the bankers' right: bank lien, right of set off, right of appropriation, and right to charge interest or commission. Okay, now let us discuss what is bank's right. What is bank right? Termination of bank or customer's relationship. First of all, bank has the right to terminate the bank and customer relationship, and in which condition they can terminate the bank and customer relationship we are discussed. First of all, there should be an, if there is an voluntary termination, it means that the customer, first of all, the customer has also the right to what, to close the deposit account or anything with the if they are dissatisfied or if they are changing the location, so the customer has the right to what, to just close their accounts and relations with the bank, and the bank is bounded to comply with this. Okay, now bank has also the right to decide to close the account due to any unsatisfactory condition from the customer side. So they both have the right, they both can involve in the voluntary termination. Bank can involve in the voluntary terminating the bank customer relationship in case they want to close the account, but they have to reveal the first of all condition and should give a appropriate time to the customer, and the customer should also end from their side this relationship. How, if for example, if they are not satisfied with the service or they want to move to other bank, they can do this, and bank has to abide by this rule. Okay, so this is voluntary termination. Now if there is a termination by law, how how there is a termination by law. For example, if there is a death of the customer, so on receiving the note or information of the death of the customer, first of all, bank should stop all the debit transaction in the account. However, the credit to the account can be permitted. The balance in the account then is transferred to the legal heir or representative of the deceased. Now, if there is a bankruptcy of a customer and liquidation of a company, so an individual customer may be declared bankrupt, or a company, if they are declared bankrupt, in such event, the bank should first of all stop all the type of drawings. Okay, no drawing is permitted from the bank side or the account of the individual, and this can terminate the bank customer relationship. Either it can be voluntary or it can be termination by law. Termination by law, the death of the customer, and while, for example, if anyone is declared as a bankrupt or if there is any liquidation of the company. Okay, next, if there is any garnishee order. So garnishee order is what? So we have already discussed what is garnishee order. So after receiving a garnishee order from a court or from the authority, the account should be immediately stopped by the customer, by the bank. If there is an insanity of the customer, so a lunatic person, or if the person is declared to be insane, then obviously bank should stop the transaction in the account of that customer, and the account should be closed, and whatever the balance should be transferred to their representative. Okay, so this is the termination of the bank accounts. Okay, now next, Next is BCSPI, Banking Codes and Standard Board of India. Now, what is BCSPI? So, if we talk about November 2003, RBI has constituted a special committee, and the chairman of that committee was SS Tarapur. So, it was known as SS Tarapur Committee, which actually recommended the setup of Banking Codes and Standard Board of India, and it is actually a copy of the banking and standard code which was functioning in the UK. It was registered under as a separate society and registered under the Societies Registration Act, and it is considered as the watchdog of the banking industry. Okay. Next, RBI since has set up the Consumer Education and Protection Department, that is issued by the Charter of Customer Right, and this actually helps to strengthen the ombudsman mechanism. So earlier there was BCSPI, which was functioning as the watchdog of the banking system and which was recommended by SS Tarapur Committee. Lately, RBI started this Consumer Education and Protection Department, which actually responsible for issuing the Charter of the Consumer Right, which is actually an advanced version of BCSPI. And so, with the introduction of this, the board has decided to dissolve the Banking Code and Standard Board of India. So now there is no Banking and Standard Board of India which is valid. Okay, so the two codes issued by BCSPI are, first of all, Code of Banks Committee to the Customer and Codes of Bank Commitment to Micro and Small Enterprises. Okay, done. So now let's start some practice question. The first question: the obligation of bank to keep the affair of the customer secret and confidential arises from Banking Regulation Act, a specific law, contractual relationship, or none of the above. Please answer the question, everyone. You can all answer this question. Please answer the question. Okay, everyone just please answer the question. The obligation of bank to keep the affair of the customer secret is actually arised from the contractual relationship. Is actually arrived from what? Is arrived from the contractual relationship. Clear? Okay, so this is it for today. I hope that you have all enjoyed this chapter. So for PDF download, I have already told you how to download the PDF of this YouTube session. You have to just download the Oliveboard app. When you open the Oliveboard app, you have to select the category. For example, this is JAIIB category. Just select the JAIIB category. Below there were four options given and third option was courses. If you click on that courses option, you will find a YouTube PDF free session section there, and when you click on that, there are all the free PDF sessions that are listed there. You can download it for free from there. Okay, and there are different courses which are already going out in the Oliveboard app in English medium as well as bilingual. You can buy any of the thing, or currently there is 50% off also, so you can avail the discount and use the offer. Okay, so thank you so much guys for joining this session. Thank you so much. Take care everyone. Bye bye guys. Take care. Bye everyone.